How's it going, everybody? JT here on behalf of the EV Mavericks Discord from the Ethereum community on Reddit. We are back for our 110th episode? 110th episode for May 9th, 2025. Make sure you get a chance to click the bell, smash the balls, whatever you got to do. Leave us a comment. Leave us a question, whatever. We're here to talk with you. Today, we were going to have Mike from Rainbow Wallet. He's got some gut issues, which I can totally relate with. So we have postponed the interview with Mike from Rainbow Wallet. Get well, my friend. It is going to be on, I believe it's July 18th. We're moving to July 18th. We got quite a few guests coming up on the books. And it actually kind of works out today that Mike couldn't make it. I have to get out of town before too long, but I got to do the Doots, right? We got to do the Doots. This has been a pretty epic price action day. Normally, I would have you head over to dailydoots.com, which we still can do. But Hani Abu is working on a super secret project, and he's got to have all the attention on that for the meantime. I won't go into what it is, but I'm pretty excited for him and for you and for me and everybody else in the Ethereum space. Hani Abu's doing some handshaking, man, and getting some stuff done behind the scenes today. So it stands to reason why he couldn't update the page. But we're just super glad that you could make it. And we're super glad that we got more people on the Doots list than ever. We've added quite a few people. The sub was cranking out. We had over 500 on the daily yesterday. It feels like the slightest sniff of a bull's balls is enough to bring the herd back to the table. So it's always good to see that activity. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Well, anyway, so what we do here on Daily Doots, if you're just tuning in on X or on Twitch or wherever you're watching this on YouTube, we basically honor the best commenters every single day that show up on our Ethereum in the daily general discussion, and they get a point. And those are awarded by Turkey Troll. I do the points, but Turkey Troll does the selection. And then we have a leaderboard with that. It's kind of fun. We have, over 1,200 usernames on the leaderboard now. And as of me reading this, I can tell you for sure, Logri the Bard climbed up on the ranks, and then Harog right here on number 2 spot. He's actually at 200 right now, so he's the second person to break 200. Logri the Bard hot on his heels. Below that, we have Benito 2030, Tricky Troll 154, Hani Abu at 124, Crypto Wild Currency at 119. Ethical Trade at 118, Aiden Cairo at 118, tied, and 696 ETH. So these scores are all a week old. I wonder if the leaderboard, it shows us the leaderboard has 1,202 duders. We have added at least 3 or 4 since last week. So if you want to join us on Reddit, just go to our Ethereum, and we do all of this stuff right inside of the daily general discussion on the front page there. So we're going to get right into it. Our weekly list is produced by the A Word. So out of all these people on these Doots, the A Word, user the A Word, comes up with this brilliant list of the top of the week. And we always start off with the Trinity. We go to Haiku, the Chota Time, and so on and so forth. So the Trinity, $10.9 chimes in Ethereum. Frank the Tank at 22.15. It's actually a little bit higher than that by now, probably. I don't want to jinx it, though. And Pooey Gusset, duder number 4, chimes in on the ratio. Looking spry, my friend, at 0.02165 on the ratio. That's always fun. JS Tears is our resident Haiku expert. A funny machine standardizing finance clean. Ether in between. JS Tears, how do you do it? Just incredible. What a machine. He does this every single day, sometimes, or every week, but sometimes every day. And Clam Chota says, ETH, take my energy. Also a great reminder to get that energy rocking and rolling. All right, Iterad Astra has the All Hail the Eternal Crab. You can see All Hail the Eternal Upgrade. This is nice. Look at all the pandas. Yeah. What do we have here? Camels? Are those camels? I missed that. Okay. Like the upgrades are forever, each one a step closer to perfection. Coming up after Pectra is Fusaka. All right. And this guy right here has finally cracked the nut a little bit here. So we have a user on Reddit named ETHZen, a duder number 18, is on day 99 of buying 0.1 ETH every day. Think about those numbers. 99 times 0.1, you do the math. Buying 0.1 ETH daily until we reach all-time high. I'm in profit, he says, or they say. I'm away with unreliable internet, but holy cow, I just saw the price. Apparently, all I needed to do was stop looking at the price for even a few days. I obtained 10.5 ETH for an average price of $2,101 per coin. The value of my ETH, and this is the breakdown, is up 3.5%. If they purchase BTC instead, they'd be at 14%, and Sol instead, they'd be at 8%. So they have 10 stETH on mainnet, ethzen.eth, so you can follow it right there. And then 0.5 ETH on Ink Layer 2. Today was the best day to buy ETH, and I think they always say that. And then he types in his crypto.io score. And I wrote, attaboy. It's so fun to, I've been following that account for a long time, like 0.1 ETH every day. That's pretty neat. And then to finally be in the black after all this time, that's special, you know? So that's hats off to ETHZen. You made it. At least you're in the black. And I have no doubt this is going to age well. I always love this. That's a bold thing to do. That's a lot of money. Good for you, man. All right, moving on down the list. Okay, so this is buying the shit. This is our shit post of the week, according to the A word, by our friend EtherB, duder number 19. I know exactly why ETH price is dropping. Apparently, there was a serious bug in its only execution client that would have allowed unlimited token mints. Effing disaster. It was secretly patched by core devs and coordinated in Discord channel with the handful of validators that control the network. Oh, wait. That is an obvious troll. I believe that happened on Solana, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, they took a bug and just patched it quietly. Oh, boy. Okay. And this is our first Doot.
It's okay, though, because Solana's still in beta, right?
Yeah, Solana's still in beta. That's Logri, the Bard from Tokenomics Explained, chiming in. Yeah, do you know more about that story? Can you elaborate? Is that pretty much it? Is that like...
there was a critical bug. And, because Solana has a couple people in Discord who can basically halt and restart the chain, they just got a patch out to those people and, patched over the chain. But the basis of decentralization is the inability of people to conspire like this, right? If they could patch this, they could just patch in a regular state chain and mint themselves a bunch of Sol if they wanted to, right?
Yeah.
The only check is whether the people in basically that Discord room, in a matter of a couple hours, are willing to run the new software. And since none of the validators are profitable except through Sol subsidies from the Solana Foundation, they have an economic lever to do whatever the Solana Foundation says, right? So where's your decentralization, right?
And the number of people that are just okay with that.
But they cherry pick stats in order to claim they're sufficiently decentralized. But again, we see that they just can't be credibly neutral, right?
Mm-hmm. If there's anybody else in the audience on Discord that wants to jump on stage, join the conversation, just raise your hand and Treebeard will get you up here. If you're finding this on X or on YouTube or Twitch or beyond, you can join our Discord and have fun in the conversation as well. We got moderators on standby to help you get there, especially if you want to troll Solana. We're good with that. We are good with that. All right, Reptile Potato. This is our next dude of the day. According to the A-word, the headline reads, they started a discussion about tokenization with no mention of Ethereum despite Ethereum's involvement. This is from Reptile Potato. Man, it is so annoying to still see so many news articles and social media posts hype up tokenization and stable coins, but then they mention crypto or even say BTC, laughing my ass off. And then on social media, there will be a rare comment saying the word Ethereum or air quote built on Ethereum and have like no upvotes or is buried down where no one will see it. I bet this would bring in some positive narrative if they would actually start naming Ethereum, or if some influential people would comment that it's built on Ethereum on all these posts. I tried commenting, but sadly I'm a nobody and don't get upvotes or views, and I'm not sharing my Twitter here. I can say 100% say Ethereum was a meme back in 2017, 18. I mean, forever.
Yeah.
I mean,
it never, like, it was one of those like Occupy Wall Street things. Like, yeah, we post the hashtag, but nothing changed, right?
Yep.
It's still just as valid then or today as it was then.
It's so crazy that that's still being practiced by major publications. It's like,
Not just major, like, okay. They're like, the Texas Stock Exchange will be built, we're going to go with full tokenization. What blockchain, guys?
Yeah.
Just no mention, right?
Yeah.
You think they're going to put it on Bitcoin? Like, no. Right?
Yeah. They'll say Bitcoin. They'll say on a platform like Bitcoin.
They might even say crypto, right? Or they might say something like, public ledger or public blockchain or something. But they don't say Ethereum. And it's wild.
In the media, there's ignorant, there's willfully ignorant, and then there's downright bad actors. Pick two. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. It's been that way for a long time. And it's even funnier when you see like Solana and XRP are included in certain conversations when there's nothing serious about it ever happening on those chains, but they still get to chase that narrative, and it's perfectly okay for journalists to. I have no proof of bribery, okay, but there was a recent tweet. Wasn't there a recent tweet? Not even to get political, but like. It was like Trump has exiled them out of the White House conversations because they were never included. It was like some kind of press management somehow was able to squeeze in Solana, Cardano, XRP, and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't even have that source, but it just came out like over the course of the last day or two. It's kind of like, good God, man, the bad actors in the space. Ethereum has been taking it lying down for way too long, and I think now it's starting to show some teeth and maybe get the narratives fixed. It's like, no, they're not building it on those things. They did the same thing where, what was it, XRP was going to buy out Circle. They made an offer for $5 billion for Circle, but it was just to grab headlines. We'll see if that actually comes true. I don't see how it could, but oh well. All right. Also, back on Reptile Potato, this user, they've had a 5-year-old account. They've only had like 13 post karma, but they became a Dooter number 6 in less than 2 weeks. Reptile Potato had 2 double doot days this previous week. They really caught the attention of Tricky Troll, and they made it on the weekly discussion. And that's pretty difficult to do. Really difficult to do. So yeah, shout out to Reptile Potato, or as I called him, Lizard Spud. Great job, Lizard Spud. So really enjoyable to see your post coming to the top of the page. All right, back to the list. Cayuzi shares a cool tool they've been building. All right, Cayuzi, Dooter number 1, weekly Doots number 1. This is crazy. First time Dooter made it on the weekly show. Congratulations, Cayuzi. They say, hi, would love a favor from the community here. I've been indexing all the .eth sites with content at foreversearch.io. I've done the latest 500,000 blocks and now going further back. I've introduced an upvote style system where you can effectively sign a message to upvote a site, no fees, no gas. And a wallet can only upvote a site once and must meet some .health metrics. It's got to be more than 10 days old, more than 0.02 ETH to prevent spam. Okay, I gotta try this out. I'm getting excited. And I would love you guys to check it out and throw some votes on any sites you find interesting. Let me log in. I'm gonna log in to my MetaMask on a different browser window. Okay, I should be logged in there. Let's go check it out. Let's see what they're cooking here. Okay, so search decentralized sites. Logri the Bard, what's a good decentralized site you can think of? Maybe just an ENS, like Vitalik.eth, maybe? That's a decentralized site. Let's just go to Vitalik. Let's go to the Ultimate Chad. Okay, if I click on their name, I found one result. Okay, feature domains. It doesn't go to anything. Oh, right here. The personal domain of the Ethereum co-founder. Okay, let me sign in. Let's see if it's a... Oh, I got Rainbow Wallet installed because I was going to introduce them. Can I log in? I might have to disable manage extension. Let me disable that. Okay. Isn't Web3 fun? Fun, they said. Okay, let me go back in, refresh this page. I'm going to sign in first. There we go. Let's do that. Okay, and go to Ethereum mainnet. Let's just start there. All right. Okay, so now, Vitalik.eth. There it is. If I pop it out, does that take me to Etherscan? IPFS. Okay, wonderful. That's his website. Okay. Now what do I do? It said I was supposed to be able to vote, right? Am I reading this right? Forever search the original intent. Upvote system where you can effectively sign a message. Okay. Well, let's do...
I'm not seeing it either.
You're not seeing...
There's a little,
there it is. It's right down.
A little up arrow, yeah.
Okay, there's the up arrow. So I'm gonna hit the up arrow. Oh my gosh. This is pretty groovy. All right. Let's see if this will switch over. Yep. I got an error. Maybe it's because I have like an ad blocker on. You think? Let's do bitsofcode.eth. Let's just upvote one until we get something to click. This could be a user error on my side too. Using Brave. Maybe that's my problem, lady. Okay. Do I have any pending transactions? No. Okay. I want this to work so bad. I can't. It says no signer available. Well, that's obviously my side. Oh, got to pick the right damn wallet, don't I? Yeah, let's get over here. There we go. Okay, now we're on my jtnickel.eth. Okay, let's try that again. Vitalik.eth. Okay. I want this to work. That's cool. Okay, so maybe we're breaking something in real time here. It says I'm signed in, and I'm going to refresh the page one more time. It says I'm signed in. I'm connected. And if I just click this, yeah, I get a no signer available. What is it? Control F5. I'm going to move on if I can't get this to go pretty soon. Well, there's an upvote there. Maybe it already counted. Because now it says 2 next to his name. Okay, that might be a bit buggy. Okay, so, but that's not to say this isn't on me. All right. Wasn't even sharing.
Seems like a good application. I mean, just having to go over to the wallet and sign everything slows the process down so much, right?
Yeah.
Great application of some like cartridge where you have session-based permissions.
Right. Let me disconnect. Okay. Let's do that again. Disconnect. Okay. I'm going to try to sign in again with the correct. Let's see. No, didn't push the lattice, but maybe I don't need to go to the lattice for this. We'll see. And now let me hit the upvote. Oh, please work. Yes, baby. Hold on 1 second. I'm coming. There's the lattice. Okay. Let me reactivate this. Okay, there it is. Approve. You can see right there, I can vote for Vitalik.eth on forever search. And it shows the timestamp. And that is going on the blockchain. Yeah, that was my error on my side. I had the wrong wallet connected on MetaMask with a different wallet on the Lattice. That was all me. That worked. This whole thing works, and that's pretty rad. I like it. Let me do another one. How about Tornado Cash IPNS? Okay, let's just see what happens. There we go. So you got an upvote system now on ENS names and domains and stuff. This is crazy cool. Good on you, man. I love it when people are building stuff. There's bits of code. Yeah, neat. Well, good on you, dude. Kayuzi. And I'm going to change their name to what's called Forever Search. Forever Search.io. So I'm going to have their tags saved a little bit differently. Awesome. Congrats.
Might be some to add to the Daily Doots website where we get the people's projects.
I love it. You know what? That's a great idea. Let me reopen that. Let's just CC user Hani Abu. Add this to the Daily Doots site, please. Oh, that's neat. I love it when people build stuff. It's so cool to try things out. Yep. That whole last 5 minutes of me screwing up, that was all user error on my end. That had nothing to do. This site works. This is neat. Go play around with it. All right. Moving on. Oh, I opened up a couple of different sites here. Okay, let's go back to the list. Stoby, user Stoby, covers the critical vulnerability in Solana, which they tried to sweep under the rug. I like the word rug in there. It's got a little double meaning. Stoby's a duder 15. Says there was a critical vulnerability on Solana and a super majority of validators colluded to patch it. They did it twice and no one knew anything about it. It's totally misleading to even call it a blockchain. If they can do that, there's effectively a masternode and a government/group that can force other changes in the same way. Yes, that is terrible. There we go. Moving on down the list at Duder number 121, Crypto Currency. Highlights the hypocrisy in another subreddit, and user numerous ruin 4947 recognizes the need to fight the flood of misinformation. Crypto currency states the RCC front page be like this. The post says ETH price is down. The top comment, price down for years now, so it'll keep going down. ETH is dying. And then another post, the current ETH BTC ratio is historically bullish. Top comment, past performance isn't an indicator of future results. This shit is botted for sure. Stay safe out there, everyone. And numerous ruin 4947 replies, you can unbot it with your own positive notes. Always turn the topic around to how great Ethereum is. Saylor claimed last year that ETH would never get a spot ETF and that it would be declared a security by the SEC by summertime. He was wrong. And when confronted, he claimed it was a great thing for Bitcoin. He did not hesitate to make it all about Bitcoin again. I posted this reply about 47 minutes ago in CC. See the BTC Maxis comment in quotes. Here's the quote. But BTC price has gone up by 38,000%, so miners' rewards are more than enough. Okay, well, comparatively, They write, ETH is up 152,000% since 2015, and it will go up a lot more. Like BTC, it is a great store of value, but also offers staking yield as an elegant solution to secure the chain and its transactions. This gives Ethereum greater economic security than Bitcoin. Ethereum has certainty of security, and BTC does not. All right. Well said. I love it. Bullish. Okay, moving on down the list. Next level fantasy duder number 16.
Well, I love that people
Yeah.
write things like that. It's just that takes too much time to write. People will flood you with one line, and then you have to spend 20, 30 seconds or 15 minutes sometimes writing a really good reply. That's why Tricky and I are trying to get that AI bot going, right?
Yeah.
But I'm taking more of my personal time to go out into Reddit and Twitter and whatnot and engage and fight FUD. And then I'm linking, when I do, back to Tricky, and we're adding it to our data set and curating our anti-FUD points, right? So we're currently building a validation data set of like every negative thing people have to say about Ethereum, and then the best curated reply we can get from that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that start rolling out. Maybe it's one of those deals where you're building it in real time, and when people start to see the effectiveness of it, they'll be able to feed the bot somehow. Well,
I hope our EV Mavericks, we're trying to get the integration with Reddit right now. We've got one for Twitter, and we're trying to make it so that we can host the model on something like Morpheus, which is decentralized, and then we can give free access to EV Mavericks, just basically token gated access, right? So you'll be able to call the thing on a website that will stand up and just copy paste it into whatever medium you want, or hopefully do something where you're like at EV Maverick bot, right? And it'll auto reply to the comment that you were replying to, right? It'll go up to the parent and then make its own child with the response. But, those are some technical things we're working on. The most important thing is just getting the model to be trained and good and usable, and then getting that to be a public good that people can do whatever they want with.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I like the now that's a good use of token gating, to help prevent like misuse of it or somebody feeding it bad. Yeah.
Because inference costs money, so no reason to let people like bankrupt the EV Maverick treasury just for paying for inference. If let's keep it to members only, and then if other people want to, they can always download the model and do whatever they want with it. So they want to run on their own card and or find somewhere else to host it. That's great, but for us, it's going to be a matter of training it, making it publicly available, and making it free hosting for EV Mavericks.
Great job. I dig it. All right. Moving on down the list, next level fantasy duder number 16 rounds up a batch of recent Ethereum origin news. Actually met this person in real life in Denver. Got some barbecue going. So hats off to next level fantasy. So a bunch of recent regen refi news. The Sylvie protocol launched Treecopedia. Tree, T-R-E-E, Treecopedia. There's tons of tree data out there, scientific papers, databases like GBIF and iNaturalist, and even digital encyclopedias like Wikipedia, but it's not easily machine readable, queryable, and programmable. Using AI and blockchain, Treecopedia changes that. It makes tree data and knowledge programmable, helping automate reforestation strategies, project tree impact, and unified protocols with shared data. On down the list, Coconut, spelled with a K. The Coconut Network is officially moving on Coconut Adelphi, a nounish centropic farm. There's a weird set of words I've never heard before. Protocol Guild recently tweeted about the 10 ETH they got from the same public nouns 2 years ago. P-nouns have funded a lot of public goods, and more people should really be aware of it. Moving on down, the Regen Network, an OG Cosmos eco-credit validator chain, is partnering with Celo. There's a Twitter space where you can learn more and can see what credits are actually on the market on Regen Atlas. Okay, moving on down. Pretty sure this was already discussed in a daily thread, But Gitcoin is winding down Grant Stack. But the GG rounds are still happening. The May 6th showcase for Allo builders with live proposals in the GG23 Gitcoin Grants Garden. The Season 8 of Green Pill podcast, wow, they're on Season 8, is Ethereum Localism, hosted by Ethereal Forest. Localism was the meta at ETH Denver and is the driving philosophy behind regen coordination. The Green Pill Network newsletter just dropped, and there's a quick shout out to me and the A Word for doing work with the barbecue, and also a nod to the EV Mavericks and our Ethereum. Well, thank you, Next Level Fantasy. Also got to meet Logri the Bard. That's right. Was really an awesome day. That's right. Yeah, Logri was there. Who else stopped by? Jamie Canterbury, formerly of EY, stopped by. I don't know if Paul made it to that one. Yeah, that was an interesting house. It was a definite hippie hole. They were a lot of fun. And then Green Pill Toronto hosted the first chapter of Demo Day for the projects their community members are working on. A pretty unique chapter structured compared to the others, which are usually a bit more ecological regeneration focused. A bunch of cool tooling workshops in that YouTube as well. So go check that out. We'll get this posted eventually on dailydoots.com. All right. Moving on down. Accidental Green updated their own open source validator updater. Accidental Green is one of the founders or the person that made the client diversity tool. Accidental Green writes, I updated my open source validator updater to make it the easiest and fastest way to update all Ethereum clients, including MEF. There's the GitHub page. Simply run a single command and the application will open to show you the currently installed version and the latest available. Just click Update Validator and the program will install the latest versions. Boy, howdy. I believe this is the easiest and most user-friendly way to update for home stakers and works with all standard setups using USR/local/Ben, Summer ESAT, CoinCashew, etc. The CLI version is still available for those who do not have a GUI or prefer a simpler program. Feel free to check out all of my other tools like Validator Install and Client Switcher, all of those available at the old GitHub. Any testing or feedback is always appreciated. Don't forget, you only have 2 days left to update. Okay, this is 4 days old, but glad you got a shout out on the weekly, my friend. Logri the Bard. Oh boy. Logri the Bard's got a posting this week. Points out the fundamentals of Ethereum. I gotta get myself ready for this one because some of these are lengthy. They really are, but it's worth it.
If Vitalik took time off, we would lose a great researcher.
Gotta get a drink of water.
A great mind. And he's not just writing about Ethereum, he's writing about collusion systems, crypto economics. That would be a tremendous loss to the world, but the Ethereum machine would just keep chugging. 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 Just keep chugging.
All right, here we go. Logri the Bard writes, have you by chance been following the adoption news, and provides us a link to ethereum.adoption.com. If you have not seen this website, you owe it to yourself and your grandma to go look at this site, okay? There's just just pages and pages and pages of all kinds of stuff that's being built on Ethereum. Are you following the signs of institutional adoption such as Biddle growing 187% in the past 30 days? How about BlackRock's plan to bring another $150 billion on chain? Or maybe news of the Texas Stock Exchange, or plans by Robinhood to tokenize private equity investments you can't buy on the NYSE. As a quick aside to this, Etherealize is in conversation with Robinhood folks. Robinhood's press release about tokenizing private equity investments, treasuries, or whatever was dropped on CoinDesk 2 days ago, and they said that they're looking at Ethereum, Arbitrum, and Squalana. Okay, and Etherealize is definitely at the table as we speak with that. So hopefully they get it done.
As they should be.
As they should be. As they should be. All right. What about RWA growth? That's real world assets for anyone counting the beans. RWA total value locked is up 175% year to date. Stablecoin growth question mark. The EURC is up over 200% year to date. Maybe you'd be a fan of all the chain metric growth. Let's open that up at growthepie.xyz, where you too can see all of the chain growth across all of the different chains. It's crazy. We're up about 300% transaction volume year to date. We have Petra coming tomorrow, which will increase capacity even further to support onboarding even more applications and institutions. So, if you invested in the impact of the chain, adoption by TradFi, and revolution of the finance system, stablecoin adoption to bring financial services to billions of underserved people, anti-tyranny technology to help people escape from their local mismanaged currencies, then it has been a fantastic investment. If you're investing trying to front run the whims of retail, then you're welcome to invest in Fartcoin. You would have done better. But I'll at least ask you this. If you had invested in Fartcoin and then were down as much as your ETH holdings right now, how would you feel compared to investing in something showing amazing growth and impact and being down the same amount? Tricky Troll says, oh, you bet this is going into the ETH FUDbuster validation data set.
Yeah, so you linked to my post in the Dude, but I was responding to one of the usual people that's just like, ETH sucks, right? And if you go up to the root comment above it, that's the type of thing that's going to go into the validation data set, right? Just basically saying another post today I responded to. Yeah, exactly,
yeah.
right?
So the original comment that Logri even wrote all this out to was somebody that came in, actually a duder number 2. This makes me sad. They said, what a fantastic investment.
Because ETH was down that day, right?
ETH was down that day.
Just come in to crap on it, right? And what do you say to that? Well, what'd you invest in, right? What did you invest in? If you invested just to make money on some short-term horizon, then essentially you're relying on the wisdom of the crowd to predict some price, and that you were hoping that you bought something without any care in the world as to the impact it would have on the world, just to sell it to people at a higher price.
Yeah.
You could be trading tulips, you could be trading meme coins, celeb coins. There's a lot of places you can go gambling if all you're after is pure price appreciation. And you might win, you might lose. But doesn't it feel shitty to lose knowing that you invested in pure shit? Doesn't that feel worse than if you invest in something and you see it succeeding and the price is down?
Yeah.
In the latter case, you can at least look at okay, but this has a good chance of turning around. If you, in the former case, where it's just, that you bought Fartcoin, it's down, 75 or 90%, you're like, well, what was I even thinking, right? It feels way different knowing that you bought something that has the fundamentals there. And when people say the price is down, okay, well, that's just the current opinion of the market. That has changed a few times since I've been in this space, right? We tend to whipsaw back and forth pretty violently, and we have a plan to turn around the current sentiment in the market. So I think that if you say this is a fantastic investment with sarcasm, you probably invested for the wrong reasons with the wrong time horizon, and get your head out of your ass.
Yeah, it's kind of like I just replied back to them today. What a fantastic investment, because what a difference in price 3 days made.
Okay, and you don't know how much he's down. He could have bought it 4K.
He could have been, but still,
right.
To your point, there's things you can do with ETH while the price is going down that can still earn you yield, even if you're still going negative. You're padding that loss a bit, versus staking fart coin or whatever that is.
You can't even stake it, right?
Or just, you can't even stake it. Yeah, exactly. So it's like if you're just doing a zero-sum dollar trade type of shit coin with no ability to like use it for anything that other people also use it for, then, you know, it's just a
And
it's a
I'd say the
one-way
same
street.
thing applies to Hedera, XRP, right? At least you can do some things on Solana. Like it has a DeFi ecosystem of websites you can go and use. I don't think they have the liquidity depth. I don't think they have the same amount of yield, APR, certainly different trust assumptions. But at least like Solana, there are people who have a wallet set up.
Yeah.
I have never met someone on like Wall Street Bets Crypto or etc. that has a Ripple wallet set up, that's actually used the Ripple chain for anything.
No. It's 100% speculation.
So what are you buying? You're basically buying Farcoin, right? Or you're buying into media articles based on someone else that's going to use it. I'm not saying you have to use the product of every investment you make. Like I own a bunch of aerospace, and defense stocks, and I don't plan to go and personally buy rocket launchers and use missiles, right? But like, if you don't know anyone else that's using it either, if it's just a dead product and you're buying it off of hype news, basically you're just buying into narratives, and narratives are very short-lived things, right? They change several times a year, right? Narrative trading is a very high velocity thing you have to be following and like really connected to the pulse of this ecosystem. And it's high stress and it's mercenary PvP kind of environment. I hope that most people in e-finance aren't there for that.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, well, it's fun to watch everything unfold over time. It's just, you know, at times it definitely feels like we're in a very distortion. You know, the timeline is distorted. Everybody got kind of got used to the 4-year cycle, and then it's like this cycle is like 4 years stretched out like molasses, you know, or taffy, and it's still kind of in. I'm excited that we've had at least a little bit of a price pop on the ratio and USD.
Well, okay,
it's starting to turn the battleship, you know.
We peaked in November 2021, or we really started peaking around like April maybe of 2021, right in that first run up. So 4 years later, we're pretty much right there.
Yeah.
Right. If it decided to go on a major run right now and pop up to 5K, that wouldn't be outlandish in terms of, we went from, what was it, the start of 2021, some like 500. We quickly shot up to 2K. So let's say we hit 1,500 at the bottom. We had a 400% rise. That'd still be 6K. Yeah. We could pop up to that in a short period of time still. It's not as though it's been stretched out. It actually kind of popped early is the weird thing, right? Popping in 2024 was not a full 4 years. That was 3 years. And that's made it feel really weird. Well,
I think the pandemic introduced a wobble in the axis a bit, and Trump election was a wobble, and just coming
tariffs is a wobble.
Tariffs,
right?
It's just on and on. War.
Yeah, these things seem to happen every 4 years. It's just part of the 4-year cycle.
Yeah. All right. Good. As pupil, let's see. Did I get this accidental green? I got him. I got Logri. Okay, S pupil 6, Deuter number 5. S pupil 6 was on last week's show too. That's 2 in a row. Good for you. The 10 most bullish things happening in Ethereum right now. Oh boy, here we go. Okay, guys, I have to say it. I'm really effing bullish. There's so many things happening in the background, it's hard to collect them all. Number 1, ETH is still the best asset. The ultrasound meme was misguided. It should have never been about ETH being deflationary. The main focus should have been is that it is sustainable. ETH is the only asset which is balancing the tug of war between validator payments and asset inflation. And the result is a perfect combo, where even in low activity times, validators get paid while keeping the net inflation around zero since the merge. In the end, only those assets can be store of value, which can stand the test of time. And here we have a timeless machine, a massive economy behind it. Number 2, The institutional adoption is just crazy. L2s spun up every other week. Real world assets, stable coins going parabolic, and most of it is on Ethereum. Props to Hani Abu, ding, 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 for EthereumAdoption.com website. Pectra is awesome, number 3, and we are getting it tomorrow. 2x the blob counts, user improvements, validator improvements. It's all very useful. Also, EIP 7623 allows for roughly a 2x gas limit increase on L1, not too soon after Pectra. Number 4, devs are in war mode.
This is Sparta!
If we look in the past, we got pretty complex hard forks roughly every year, and there were so many things built in parallel that I think we are starting to see the fruit of it. For example, they target a 6-month cadence for future upgrades, and Fusaka with Pure DAS can come as soon as October? Jeez. Number 5, Open Intense Framework is coming with improved L2 interop. I don't think this needs too much explanation. L2 interoperability is very much needed, and the reality is that we don't even have to wait too much for that. Blob pricing will get solved in Fusaka. In Fusaka, we will finally get better pricing for blobs. No more free meals.
Boom, boom, boom.
We have pizzas, we have 300 hamburgers, many French fries.
L1 scaling is coming. Due to the recent and future upgrades, we will have some headspace to increase block size. Devs are targeting 150 million for Fusaka, 300 million for Glamsterdam, increasing capacity, reducing the gas limit for the burn. Number 8, user improvements with smart wallets. Guys, this will be huge. Pectra with EIP 7702 will bring a new era of user experience. The transaction batches are just the beginning. I can't wait to see the different wallet recovery methods, automate DCA or payments. I guess add-ons which can calculate the exact tax amount you have to pay according to your accommodation and automatically send it to different wallets are not too far away either. This looks like an interesting wallet that I found today. It's called OTIM, O-T-I-M, a digital asset operating system for every on-chain account. Is ready for Pectra. And number 9, ZK teams are on fire. Sub 12s proving times are coming in 2 to 3 months. The sheer amount of teams working on ZK is astonishing. In the recent ETH proofs call, most of these teams set a 2 to 6 month timeline to reach real-time proving. This on itself doesn't solve, but it enables L2 composability. And number 10, finally, we still have decent activity despite bear market prices. L1 plus L2 activity still on the rise. While we have not seen serious wealth generation event on Ethereum this cycle so far, unlike Solana. When prices start trending again and money is to be made, the degens and activity will come back to an improved user experience and user capacity. I love it. I love it. Improvements come in waves. There are times where it looks like nothing is happening and then suddenly everything changes at once. I believe we are right before an explosion in utilization and interest, usability. What a banger. S Pupil 6. Great job. Thank you for that. All right. User Barthib, Duder number 50, covers boosting Ethereum ahead of Solana. Barthib writes, so from now on, the Ethereum ecosystem can process about 700 transactions per second, right? That's 2x Solana's real transactions per second. Not even talking about greater Ethereum security through a decentralized design more seriously than Solana's. Lower ETH's inflation through a supply emission design more neutrally than Solana's. Perfect Ethereum network stability through a queuing mechanism and hardware requirements that match the real world better than Solana's fantasies. And also now, even cheaper than the cheaper we were already for months. I love it. So good.
How dare you?
I love it. This user Christkind replied, Solana has VCs though. Checkmate Ethereum.
It's also worth noting that as we increase the TPS, we lower the ultrasound barrier. I know this was discussed a little bit this week, right? So not only are we increasing capacity and lowering prices, we're also making the chain likely to be more likely to be deflationary, as long as we can find buyers for the new space, right?
They're coming. They're coming. Is there
Good luck, Etherealize. We all need you.
Yeah, we all need you. Has there been any reasoning behind ETH's pump on this latest God candle? Is there like
with every price movement, of course, there's people that are, reading tea leaves and saying, this is why it happened or that's why it happened.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any proven flows of exactly some big buyer entering with, where we can trace it in a public way. I haven't seen anything like that says like, oh, we're up because BlackRock themselves bought like $3 billion or something, right? No.
Yeah.
There's no single explanation like that.
I didn't know.
I have seen a bunch of shorts getting wrecked. That's always entertaining.
Yeah.
Because in the last 6 months, people have been like, shorting ETH is free money. And then they start making profit on that. And then they double down. And it's created a bunch of sell pressure. And ETH shorts were like literally at historic highs. Like it was at stupid levels. And so seeing some of that unwind has been nice and healthy. So certainly there's some rocket fuel from shorts getting liquidated. But I haven't seen what sparked it per se, right?
Yeah. Well, the one thing I read, and of course I don't have the link, was there was a record or near record amount of whale buying of ETH in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but which whales? Like
you don't know,
if
right?
You just say like,
yeah.
If you just been they bought on exchanges, like okay, yes, sure, there's been record buying on exchanges, but there's no way to trace that back to which whales unless it ends up in someone's ENS or a well-known person's wallet. Like if Mark Cuban goes and buys, $1 billion of ETH, like we have his wallet ENS, we know what's credited to him, right? But there's been nothing we can trace back, and Coinbase hasn't been like these were the buyers, right? That would violate privacy. So we're kind of left in the dark, just saying like, well, it went up because there's more buyers and sellers, right? And then it went up more because the shorts start getting liquidated. And I suppose it's probably even more true today. But you get a 50% price bump, and then the narrative starts to shift, and people are going, "Why is it up so much?" And that starts to create a bunch of secondary discussions of people going like, "Well, because it's the best blockchain," or because of all these other exciting things. So as people start to ask why it's going up, then people start to fill in the narrative of, well, Robinhood is about to add this thing on ETH, or the Texas Stock Exchange is about to add this thing on ETH, or we have BlackRock is about to do this thing on ETH, or we go through all the stuff in the Ethereum adoption list, right?
Yeah,
starts to pop out and as reasons people are bullish, or people attempting to explain the price movement with limited information. So they all grapple onto their thing of choice. And that's what I mean by there's 1,000 reasons you could claim the ETH is up a lot. Petra, right? Petra is why it's up a lot. Like, okay, but what did Petra systemically change?
Yeah, maybe it's just a culmination of different things. Kind of like the market had enough of it. There's too many other like supply side stuff on the exchanges being limited.
Someone big clearly decided to buy.
Yeah,
and that clearly triggered some
the bots.
short liquidations, and then that's caused some rocket fuel. And they sure as hell haven't unloaded yet because we haven't seen the bigger trace.
Right.
So
where's the BART?
We don't know what their exit strategy is for what they bought. If they were just trying to liquidate the shorts, now they could sell and be at profit by doing so, but they haven't sold, so clearly haven't hit their price target yet. They're not telling us what their price target is. I hope it's above 10K ETH, but it's not up to me.
Well, I just wonder. I guess what's refreshing is for the first time in what feels like years, Ethereum led in terms of percent against other coins. That's all. That's where I'm going. Like that's
we haven't made up the last 6 months of losses,
right?
Yes.
It feels good in the day, the day to day, but we're still way under where we've
been just hammered in the last 6 months. I mean, we should not be we should clearly be up to like 0.04, 0.05,
Yeah.
just basically where we were when Bitcoin first crossed the first 100K the first time, right?
Yeah.
We were up around 4K at the time, and then it's just been a slow bleed around then. And guess what? Things have gotten better for Ethereum in the last 6 months. Have they gotten better for Bitcoin? Not in any way I'm aware of, right?
Yep.
So if anything, we should be up above that 0.04 ratio, but we're here at like 0.22, which is certainly better than like 0.18 or predictions that we were going to go to 0.01. But it's still been a painful couple months of really punishment for no reason.
Maybe it's just a nice relief pump and nothing more.
Could be nothing more to read it, or we could come back next week and we could be up another 25% and going like, okay, well, this has been fun.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. And our last of the week, Alex is Kef, makes a post-Petra PSA for secure wallet connections. I'm just copy-pasting the whole text from Greg the Greek on X because this is very important and useful. This is a Petra public service announcement. Now that Petra is live as a user of large funds, in the earliest days, we need to navigate things carefully. Instead of fear-mongering, I want to provide some very concrete guidelines on how to stay safe. Smile emoji. Risk profiles, users of hardware wallets, custom KMS solutions, new or non-industry leading wallets. The risk with 7702, which is type 4 transactions, you can very easily be drained by a malicious website. How a type 4 transaction can upgrade your wallet to have smart account functionality, but the code that gets used can be arbitrary. If I was a malicious website, I would have users sign an upgrade, letting me sign away everything. If I were really malicious, I would wait to see if you move a large amount of funds into the wallet at a later time. Ooh. The alternative is also having you sign away your assets the same way you could sweep an account with a Gnosis Safe or any other normal 4337 account. Be careful. Verify transactions. Protecting yourself extension users using a reputable extension provider such as MetaMask, Rabby, Rainbow. The main reason is that they will outright block type 4 transactions being signed unless it's done directly via their user interface. They want to protect you. Depending on who you pick, will most likely get some form of proprietary 4337 compatible solution. Hardware wallet users proxy through a reputable wallet team, such as the list I provided above. Never connect directly to an app via the quote Ledger Trezor direct connection. A website could bypass security guarantees that the wallet teams implement natively. If you let an app sign away a type 4, you better be quick to try and reverse it ASAP. Simply put, always proxy through a reputable wallet extension that they want to help. I'm going to read those again because I want to make sure you heard that. MetaMask, Rabby, Rainbow. I'm maybe Frame, but I don't know. Simulate. Thankfully, simulation tools like Tenderly are available, and even most wallet teams deploy simulations natively in the transaction review phase. Make sure you're using the app you know. Make sure you look at the amount of funds being transferred. And finally, make sure it's only moving what you expect to move. And final note, 7702 will fundamentally improve our lives. It's just in these earliest days that we have the highest risk profile. And that is Alex is Kef, Duder number 64 for the week. I'm going to go over to dailydoots.com because I want to make sure we get the overview here of the upcoming guests. And if you haven't had a chance to follow at EV Mavericks on X, I'm at ProDJKC on X. Stop by our Mavericks Discord, all the things. But our upcoming guests, Nixo from the EF coming on May 16th, Ali Madhavi, I can't say the name, from Blockchain Founders Fund on May 23rd. Ram Aliwalia, cannot wait. We had to punt twice on Ram, but he is slated to come from Lumina Wealth on May 30th. June 6th, June 13th, I'll be in Ireland. June 20th, show to be announced. Alpha and Matt from the Green Pill Dev Guild on June 27th. Logri, we just got May 11th is what? Maple Finance. His name is starts with an S.
July 11th?
Sydney. I'm sorry. July 11th.
Was it July?
Yeah. Is it Sydney from Maple Finance? I think that's his name. That's a guest Logri tracked down. And then we're going to have Mike from Rainbow Wallet move to July 18th. And we're working on a couple of more guests. That's going to round out July. I'm excited. We sure hope that you guys are going to follow us. Make sure that you go to dailydoots.com. You can find all of our different socials there. Be alerted in our Mavericks Discord if you want to join in on the conversation on our Discord. Don't forget to upvote the daily and updoot the diddly on our Ethereum, the main subreddit for the Ethereum ecosystem. We are all over the general discussion. We hope to see you there, and I hope you can get on the podcast at some point too. If you know anybody that wants a little piece of this action, send them my way. Well, that's it for this week. I got to get on the road. I'm heading to Wichita to go to a nephew's graduation. I'm excited about that. It's been a long time coming for that young man. We're excited he's going to cross that finish line. Anyway, if you want to hang out with us on Discord, we're going to have a bonus hour of popcorn. It's a good place to hang out when the parents aren't watching on YouTube. Hi, Mom. On behalf of the ETH Finance Daily General Discussion and the EV Maverick Style, my name is JT. Cheers and big hugs from Kansas.